Hello everyone, right, welcome in. So as you can see, I have a alternative setup for us today. Okay, I did say I'll be experimenting. As I mentioned, I had some health issues, and as a result I need to sit more upright, and the table that I had before, much as I love my wonderful table from Ghana in Africa, it is not really conducive for me to use because I basically have to lean forward a little bit, and makes my back ache a little bit. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the new setup? From what I can see so far, and it kind of looks okay. And it's all about your experience of this. So I'd be interested to know what your experience is and which setup you prefer. And if you're wondering where the ancestors are, the masks that I used to use, they're now on my wall in my living room. They've actually finally been mounted, so I can't take them down as readily for the reading. So I'm just going to leave them where they are. Their energy is still with us. All right, so let's get on and see what Spirit has to say for us today. Okay, and straight away we had two cards fly out. So we had Ears Wide Open, which I've never had that one before, number 33, which reduces to 6. And then we have number 20, which is A Merry Motive. And obviously, as I usually do with the Oracle decks, I will read from the book. Let's just take one from the African landscape and see what our ancestral landscape wants to tell us this week as well. Okay. And I hope you've all had a great week. Mine's picking up in terms of activity, so I kind of have to temper it a little bit, I think. But yeah, and I'm hoping that last week's reading resonated. If you're here, if you're new, please, hello, welcome. I'm not sure. I am Insightful Angel, and it is wonderful to have you here. I hope you find the messages useful and that they resonate. Oh God, right, not quite sure. We've got a rhino and we've got a zebra. Okay, so I think we might have to take both of those. So the black rhinoceros says, okay, change your perspective. Okay, let's see if we get it focused. Look more closely. There is much to appreciate around you. And in addition to that, we have the quagga zebra, which says, accept yourself unconditionally, embrace your differences and others. Everything isn't always black and white. So two very similar messages there. Yeah. It's about changing perspective, looking around you, but accepting not just others, but yourself as well. All right. So let's see then what the Oracle has to say about these two cards, and then we'll see what the Tarot says in support of today's message. If you're here, if you wouldn't mind, it'd be really nice if you could, so number 33, if you could like the video, and if you feel it resonates, then maybe at the end you'd like to share it. So it says, here we go, ears wide open. The world is constantly speaking to us and offering clues about what is really going on beneath the surface of things. We all have the capacity to hear beyond the noise that reaches our ears. The challenge is when we feel misunderstood and unheard. When we feel insignificant, it's easy to over-explain ourselves in an attempt to get acknowledged. Now is the time to let it all go. Offer your attention as the great gift it is. It's time to stop multitasking, checking your phone, thinking of what you're going to say next, and doing all the other things that keep you from connecting fully. Whenever we are in a state of chaos and distraction, paying attention to only some of what is being said, we lose the ability to pick up on everything, including that which is not being said. Deep listening is the way in which we immerse ourselves in the truth of the world. In this way, with ears wide open, we also open our hearts and minds to understand more than what is conveyed through words alone. Opportunities arise from the subtle cues that we miss when we are not 100% present. Purposeful, open listening is an act of true respect and intimacy. When you're in this space of receptivity, letting go of the need to be heard, or to be right, you become expansive and alert to meaningful potential. Right now, keep your ears wide open and you will find more than you are searching for. Wow. Now, to me, this message is very much resonating with, the rhinoceros. Remember, the rhinoceros says, change your perspective, look more closely. There's much to appreciate, and ears wide open, saying we're missing things if we're not listening deeply. Okay, because that's where the opportunity lies. So a week perhaps of being deliberate in where we put our focus. Okay, listening intently, seeing, as this says, from a different perspective, looking beneath what is being said and what is on the surface of things. All right, so let me now read number 20, a merry motive. All right, so bear with me whilst I find it. Okay, a merry motive. You've chosen a path, you've set an intention, and you've begun to move toward a goal. You feel compelled to keep going, but do you know the why behind this drive? Do you truly want what you're pursuing, or are you chasing a destination with the anticipation of how it makes others feel about you or how you feel about yourself? Wow. You must choose to be in the flow of the experience. So again, Spirit saying, be in the flow. Listen intently, be in the present moment. Hear not just what you hear on the surface, but look beneath the surface. Is there something about a movement or a tone of voice that says that maybe something else is going on? Is there something in you in terms of your motives? Are your motives true and just? Are your motives still the same? Have you examined them lately? The most important aspect to consider now is where you place your focus, because that's where energy will flow. If you are resentful, the outer world will show you more opportunities to be resentful. If you are envious of others, competitive and overly ambitious, you will always feel as though you are not enough. If you focus on gratitude and compassion for others, you will see even more reasons to be grateful and loving. When you look for abundance, it has an uncanny way of multiplying in your life. So if you're unsure about your motives, the results will be just as unclear. Dig deep to understand your why. If your true desire is to experience X, let go of your attachment to the form that X is supposed to come in. Make sure your motive is merry and joyful, clear, honest, and aim true. Trust that the universe will provide the outcome that is a perfect match for your intention. It always does. Okay, so this one is very much matching. Accept yourself unconditionally, embrace your differences and others. Everything isn't always black and white. So it's about examining ourselves, examining where we're at, and looking for the unsaid, the unspoken, the unwritten, looking below the surface. It's not just taking things at face value, including who we think ourselves to be or why we're pursuing what we think we're pursuing at the moment. Interesting. All right, so let's see now what the tarot has to say in support of the message that's come out through the oracle. And these cards, this is the Dust to Onyx tarot deck by Courtney Alexander, a beautiful deck that I really, really love. So we have the Eight of Gourds, and it came up upside down. Aren't they lovely? Look at the colour. Look at that. Beautiful cards. Okay, and just look at the gilding on that. Yeah. Really, really lovely deck. So, as I was saying, if you're new here, thank you. I'm glad you happened upon the channel. I hope the message resonates and is useful to you as you go through this week. And if you're someone who is here regularly, thank you so much. Without your loving support, I would not be able to continue doing this. Well, I would probably. I would do it anyway. But we then have, the Three of Staffs. So the staffs in this deck indicate the wands. So we have the Three of Staffs there, and we also had come out the Nine of Blades. And let me just get it to focus, and it's in the upright. So we'll have a look at what that means in a second. All right. yeah, those of you who are here regularly, thank you so much for your support. I really enjoy doing this. And I'm using this particular deck because I want to get more familiar with it, but also because as my readings are not exclusively, but here we go, we have strength. Strength. And so you know, I actually had already shuffled. Then we have the Conjurer in reverse. And strength came out first time. The reason I had to start again was because I didn't have the microphone in. So just one more card, Spirit, please. Thank you very much. And there we have it, flying out there. We have the Ace of Blades. Yeah, let's get that to focus. There you go. Ah, it's not quite getting it. Come on, come on. Okay, let's. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Ace of Blades. So let's see what the message is from the tarot and whether or not it actually resonates and confirms what our oracle has already been telling us. All right. So the first card we had was the Eight of Goods. Okay. And the goods are in this deck. Sorry. The goods in this deck are synonymous with the cups in the Rider-Waite deck. Okay. And the cups, as we know, are about our emotional connections, our love connections, our emotions, the love of self, how we connect with others, etc. 8, the number 8 is invariably about abundance. So we have this in reverse. So this is indicating that there's perhaps a potential for some stagnation, maybe some unhealthy attachments, some fear, some failures. And I suspect that that's coming out because that's why Spirit's asking us to listen more intently, pay attention to the details, because otherwise we could find that there is some stagnation and failure on our path to where we're going this week or what it is we want to achieve this week. We then had the Three of Staffs. And the staffs are the wands. Rider-Waite's historically the wands. And the staffs are usually indicate a return on investment, that the investment that we've been making is coming to fruition. Okay. There's vision here. There's co-creation here. And can you see the flower in the center indicating birth, vision, new life? All right. So although there's potential for failure, if we stay in gratitude, then there is that birth, that new life potential, as long as we are aware of what our motives are. Are we motivated genuinely for our highest good from a place, or are we motivated because we want to compete with others? And I think if we are motivated from a space of competition or wanting others to approve of us, then this is what is likely to happen. This is the stagnation that's likely to occur. You know, instead of your cups being upright and being filled, can you see how beautiful you filled and they're flowing there? Instead, everything will start pouring out. So make sure that we understand what our motives are and that our motives are true this week. Okay. However, because when we do, that's when we start to get that kind of vision flow, cooperation. All right. We then had the Nine of Blades. Now, traditionally in the Rider-Waite, the Nine of Blades will be the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords usually indicates real kind of mental torment, mental torture. The fact that it's reversed indicates that that mental torture can dissipate, okay? but can lead to depression and guilt and misfortune if we don't start to open up and see and change our perspective. There's much to appreciate around us that we need to look more closely, okay? So very much for some of us is about accepting ourselves unconditionally, embracing ourselves and others. So this week is very much a week of introspection and about getting it right. I feel like Spirit's kind of like saying, look, it's kind of crux time now. You've got to really examine where you're going, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Okay? Because the fact that it's inversed would indicate unfounded worries, but this goes deeper when it's reversed and implies that there's some kind of really deep-seated guilt or grief that we're getting ourselves into. Some of us, obviously, it may not resonate with everyone. And for those of us that is the case, the way out of it is to be present, really listen, really see, don't make any rash judgments about anything, and look beneath so we can see what the source of this upset, depression, not the camera, might be. We then have strength. Okay, and strength is what it says. You've been through a lot, you've come through, you've shown phenomenal strength. Okay, there's courage here, and there is power, there's patience, and there is confidence. So Spirit is reminding you that although this may seem like, oh my goodness, you have the strength to come through. You have the strength to look deeper. You have the strength to see below the surface and really examine who you are and what you are. Can you see the lion there beneath her, sitting within her breastbone, within that chest of yours is the courage of a lion, okay? And look how she looks straight at the camera, intent, ready to face anything. But perhaps this week it's about facing ourselves and facing the motives, the direction that we're going in, why we're going, and just questioning. Because if you question, even if you come to the same conclusion, at least you know in your heart of hearts, this is exactly what I want and this is exactly where I'm going. Okay, but if you've not questioned it and you're not completely convinced, you can easily be knocked off your center by anybody else's opinions or thoughts, or whether it be that they're jealous or whatever. You can easily have your opinion, your thoughts about yourself swayed, okay, because you're not sitting convinced and sure of exactly what your motives are. Okay, we don't need anybody else's approval or justification, but we do need to know who we are, where we're going, and why we're doing it. We then have the conjurer, and the conjurer would be what we would call the magician in a traditional deck. Okay, and the magician is the one that is the alchemist, the one that commands all four elements and can combine them to produce magic, all right? But the fact that it's in a dormant position and it's upright indicates that there is maybe a lack of power, giving over of your power in some way, or some kind of manipulation. In the upright, it would mean creativity and skill. It would mean manifestation and magic, okay? However, it came out in the upright position, indicating, as the zebra says here, that there needs to be an acceptance of self unconditionally, embracing ourselves, and so that we don't get into thoughts of stagnation, thoughts of manipulation or lacking in any way, okay? There could be some elements of that around, and that's why you perhaps need to look a bit deeper and change our perspective, okay? Getting into gratitude and appreciation as opposed to, and then seeing and listening quite clearly, as opposed to fear, loss, losing things because we're not quite seeing clearly, okay, and even feeling some depression, some lack. Okay, got that in. All right. Conjure. Finally, we had the Ace of Blades. And as we know, the blades are synonymous with the swords. The Ace of Blades indicates spontaneity, vision, the creation of the start of some new vision or idea. And it's in that space that things are going to move forward. A space of, like, the blades indicate cutting through. There's no nonsense. The water's not murky. Okay, things are clear when the Ace of Blades is around, right? There's a vision. There's a forthright nature. It's about intelligence and focus, determination and justice. There's new insight when the Ace of Blades shows up, all right? So again, the idea of this one, echoing, it says change of perspective. This is about new insights, okay? And at the same time, we still had listening differently with your ears wide open and hearing the things that are unsaid. Okay, so quite powerfully a message this week from Spirit of being focused and seeing beneath the surface. Appreciating and loving yourself, yes, but also seeing others and yourself from a different perspective. Exercising some patience and maybe not taking the obvious, most immediate interpretation of what someone's thoughts, deeds, or words may or may not mean, and being very quite sure of our own motives and what we mean when we speak or when we say something, using our intellect and focusing. Yeah, having a new insight and being just in our dealings with ourselves and with others. Apologies there. So if the setup looks slightly askew, I actually knocked the camera. So let's see now which guardians are with us. Thank you. Guides, guardians, guardian angels. Which guardians are with us and how are they going to help us with this message this week? The overall message is that we need to look a little deeper, check our motives, check that we are not just looking at the surface of things, and accept ourselves unconditionally and everything else being gratitude. And that's how we're going to make it through to the vision and the awakening, the new ideas. Okay, and if you're still here at this moment, please take a moment, just take a second and like the video. All right, I hope it's resonating. If it's not resonating with you, fair enough. If it is, then maybe you feel if you think that someone else might benefit from it, then feel free to share the video. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be trying to figure out how to put timestamps on the videos, so that you can skip to various sections. So let's see which of our guardians are with us and how they're going to help us this week. Thank you. So let's see which of our guardians are with us this week and how they're going to help us. Okay. Aha. So we have the trader. And it says, let's just see if we can get it focused. Exchange energy to create abundance. Okay. So let me just read from a book and see what it has to tell us. What the trader guardian wants us to know. Okay. Yes. All right, bear with me. All right. So this week, our Trader Guardian says, make connections and exchange information, talents, or support. The trader brings the lesson of energy exchange. When he appears, he could represent an opportunity to exchange talents, whatever they may be, in order to expand, or to be about the exchange of energies that come from the universe. Or both. For example, if you are a creative person or consider yourself creative, when you share your talents, you are giving them, and when you do so, the universe will give you more in order for you to share more. It's all a beautiful cycle. The trader also reminds you to be open and honest and act with integrity in your exchanges, because doing something to get something will only lead to challenges. Okay, so as we go through this week, our interactions needs to be one of mutual benefit. Okay, I'll kind of move these over here so that we can see this one. A mutual exchange, a trade as such, okay? And mutual benefit, not just mutual benefit, meaning it has benefit for both the person receiving and the person giving, okay? So let's see what advice Spirit has for us this week. All right, and it is, I'm actually recording this on Halloween, the eve of Halloween. Oh, wow, that was quick. Okay. Vulnerability. Okay, let's get it focused. Showing vulnerability is a sign of strength. So in our exchanges, being vulnerable, not just with others, but also with ourselves. And remember, accepting ourselves, as well as seeing ourselves and others from a different perspective, okay? Because as it says, there's much to appreciate around us here, okay? And then finally, last but not least, I'd like to just see what our angels would like us to know this week. Okay, thank you. Guardian angels, what would you have us know this week? Thank you. All right. Okay, and we have action. Drop all fear and just do it. Okay, is that focusing? Okay. There we go. You have the power to create and be whatever you truly want. Look inside your heart and take positive action in those things that bring you closer to achieving your desired goals. Nothing can stop you except your own fears. This card is positive confirmation from God and the angels that the time is right for you to start a new and exciting adventure. And that new, very much echoed by the action of the Ace of Blades there, the vision, the creativity. But remember, as you do so, it's very much about seeing things from the correct perspective, and ensuring that your ears are wide open and that you're operating from the correct motive. Yeah. Okay. So for today, that has been your message for this week. I hope it resonated with you. I know it's probably not the sexiest message in the world. However, Spirit tends to bring you what you need, not what you think you want. I have been Insightful Angel. Thank you very much for being here. If you're still here, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like it, share it, and subscribe. And I will see you next week. Bye.